I see. What's your story?
Well, mine happened to be 2020 COVID era when there was this lockdown and we needed to monitor the situation at various market centers to at least see how at least business is actually going on at various market centers. And by that time too, the military had been deployed already to all of these centers to ensure that, people adhere to staying at home policy. So I got to the market area. I had my tag in my dress, in my shirt, and I was covering, taking visuals and videos, and all of a sudden I saw this policeman run to me. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? He held me, pushed me back. I told him I'm a journalist before I realized I had a first slap on my face.
Whoa.
Before I showed my tag to him, and then he actually came down and was like, "Oh, you're a journalist and you didn't pull it out." I'm like, yes, I'm a journalist, so allow me to do my job. I'm only monitoring situation at the market center here, trying to see how business is so far faring. So my attack was actually a slap, and listening to the stories of other colleagues too is very awful.
Okay, so in your case, it's an accident in terms of what had happened, and in the line of job, we are not protected as much. Ever since that happened, do you work on your own, or is for someone you work for?
I was working for someone.
Someone.
Yes.
Did they take care of the bills?
Well, actually, GGA came in.
Okay.
Yes, and GGA secured an insurance cover with the SIC.
Okay.
So during my first and then second surgery, they helped me to cover that. Yes.
Was the man? Do you know whether he was arrested ever?
Yes, the person was arrested, and then it came out that he was a national security officer. Yes.
As usual.
Yes.
They are always part of national security. They will always come out and tell you I'm a national security operative.
Yes.
Always. Before you know operative, they pull right, enter, slap, 2, 3, 4. You take your own, you call it. Do you think we are part of this problem? Because I believe that as much as possible, there's no justification for any attack on any journalist.
Exactly.
But
even on anyone.
Yeah, on anyone indeed, of course. But we've gone too low as well in terms of how we deal with these people who are serving us. And for me, it's a difficult one, but I have to say it. The issue of Solly is so annoying to me as a journalist to stand to go to cover a program where people that are serving me would have to be sharing coins to me. What it means is that it drops us, and so you find these people who
exactly
who become politicians
exactly
insulting us. The issue of Solly even brings us
exactly
down.
And it's a holistic problem. It's a holistic problem in the sense that media ownership in the country at the moment, due to media pluralization and how liberal our media space is, everyone can own a media station, and the owners majority happen to be politically inclined. And so journalists are not treated very well in terms of honorarium and their salaries. Sometimes you work for so long a time, you are not paid, and so the only means of surviving, because at the end of the day, even though you are passionate about your job, you must eat, because it is out of eating that you'll be able to survive.
How do you eat is the question.
How do you eat is the question. So if you get the opportunity to attend any of assignment that is facilitated by a powerful person, and the person deems it fit to at least give you an envelope, irrespective of the fact that the envelope given does not influence the content that you may put out based on your profession and how you'd want to be justified. At the end of the day, there has been something given out to you. Yes, an inducement or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, so it becomes an advantage to the other party that, these people, I can package all of them, because sometimes it's so annoying and so irritating seeing journalists being packed as sardines going to cover an event. Flooding has happened and the minister calls journalists and then package them like sardines, and we are out there going to look for the story. It's all for the good of the society, because at the end of the day, we must tell it. We must actually tell it. But how our media houses also treat us in-house is very important. If you treat us well and flooding has happened, I would not actually bother to join the bars that would actually convene all the journalists out there to go on that particular field. At least I can go on my own and even produce a furthermore exclusive good stories. Because if they take you out there, they feel like they have a responsibility, they own you. And so what they've given you, you should be able to at least do the story in such a way that it may actually favor them at a point in time. But it depends on your profession and your ethics as well. Serving the society and in the best interest of the society, knowing that particular rule and that particular code of ethics, at least it would not actually influence. But to the point that they have taken you there and they have sorted you, they feel they've sorted you. So the content that you must put out must be in their favor. And it definitely affects the content that we produce.
What do you think?
Okay, so for me, what I would say is that journalistic balance is filled with highly unprofessional people. So if you don't know the basis or the nature of your job, you would easily be influenced with what he is saying. The moment that somebody gives you something small, you feel that the person is your God. So you feel much gratified, and you can even easily put up something that you are not supposed to, or even if something bad is done to you, instead of you to come out to even say, it becomes a problem. Because in my 2 years of this incident, I've even tried to reach out to certain journalists that maybe they have bigger names in the industry to at least help me come out with my issue, and it has also been a problem.
Wow.
Yes, you tell them and then they as if like they will be
something.
willing to help, but later on you call them and then
they don't pick anymore.
they will not pick it. You
I
know,
see.
it is because maybe they have a link with these political actors
I see.
or figures. So if you try to do that, it means that your little that you are going to get, you are not going to get.
I see.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Koku, let me just add up that
yeah.
sometimes, because people personally have various aspirations, and so someone's goal is that I've seen Kojo Opan Nkrumah once upon a time being a journalist. I've seen other MPs or politicians once upon a time being a journalist. So let me be a journalist and then be faithful to some political parties. And so at the end of the day, through that, I can also become this politician that I want to be. So that also is actually affecting the core profession of the job. As a journalist, your duty is for the society first, and hence the media house that you work with has the onus to ensure your welfare, to ensure your safety, and ensure that you are well paid, to ensure that you don't become, you are not moved by other forces around you.
And you don't become a stooge.
Exactly.
A stooge and a puppet for politicians. Because I will never ever be. And it's something I swore on my life, because I'm too expensive, you know.
Exactly.
Too expensive to be bought by any political party.
Definitely.
Guys, I don't know what the way forward is. It's sad that we have experienced this. I wish all of us final words before you go. Yeah, let's start with you.
Final words I would love to say, at least today being the International Day to End Impunity for Crime Against Journalists is very laudable, and it also buttresses the May 3 day that seeks to celebrate World Press Freedom Day. In as much as the criminal libel law has been repealed, there are other nuggets of infringement on the practice of journalism, and as a country that we want to be the premier or best in democracy, infringing or stifling media practice in terms of free speech is a matter of concern that I think every stakeholder must be interested in. We are for the people and the people are for us, and our duty is to deliver in the best interest of the ordinary Ghanaian.
I see. How about you? I see you.
So what I would say is that the media is known as the fourth estate of REM. What it means is that when you take the executive, the legislature, then the judiciary, it is the media that comes. And so we are tagged with a tagline which says we are the watchdog, and a dog do not lie or sleep. We should always be awake. So when we report the ills of society, it is just to help grow the society.
Exactly.
And then we don't become enemies to society and the people in it. So whenever a journalist brings out a report or does his work, they shouldn't be seen as enemies, that people should pounce on them wherever they go to maim them. Because we help build the society in which we are in. And also it's for the purpose of democracy. So whenever that a journalist is seen or doing a work, they shouldn't be seen as an enemy.
I see. We're grateful for your time. Thank you very much. Are you going to be practicing your whole life?
Okay, now I've veered to do public relations.
I'm glad. Stay there, sir. Are you going to?
Well, I'm still young, and
Okay,
I
so
think
you are still
yes, I
okay.
am still staying for a while.
By tomorrow, I'm retiring as a journalist.
For all to sit in.
No, I'm retiring. For what exactly? Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time. Well, coming up.